So now we're going to give you a little flavour of what the festival is about, so scientists talking to people about their work. So I'm going to start with Dr. Jessica Teeling, who is an associate professor, is it now, in biological science, so the Faculty of Natural Environmental Science, and she's going to speak a little bit about her work that looks at the immune system in the brain.
Hi. I'm really delighted to be here. It's a fantastic opportunity to talk about our research and getting an audience that we normally don't get to talk to. So this is a really, really good thing. So I'm part of the theme The Body, which is a collaborative project between the Faculty of Medicine and the Center for Biological Sciences. The body, we will look at different aspects of the body. But as an overall theme, we're using the immune system. So our immune defense is highly important in protecting us from disease. But we now know that we can use this immune system in generating novel therapies for cancer, for neurodegenerative diseases, and potentially also for regenerating our bones and other organs. So in this theme, and I've got this fantastic flyer here where you can see all this information, we have 3 talks in this theme. So we start off with the war on cancer. We will then talk about crossing the barriers and immune system in the brain. And then we finish off with Doctor Who and regenerating organs in the lab. So in the first part, we've got some exciting work going on in Southampton about immunotherapy on cancer. For years now, we know that using antibodies for the treatment of cancer is very successful. And there's been some exciting new discoveries that really suggest that using the immune system is a way to treat cancer. We also know that the immune system is involved in neurodegenerative diseases. Now, I've got a brain here, which is just a model of a human brain. We can take it apart. And what we see here is that it's a very complex organ. But what is important is this part here, which is part of the circulation. We can see it much better when we look closer at the part of the brain. This is the cortex of the brain, and we can see here these red blood vessels. These blood vessels form the blood-brain barrier, and the blood-brain barrier is essential in protecting the brain from immune activation from our body. So I've got here an antibody. An antibody is there to protect us against viruses and bacteria, and it's very useful in protecting us in general, and vaccinations have been used for many, many years now, and these are generally a highly successful way of treating immune regulatory diseases. But there's a problem for the brain. So the brain has a blood-brain barrier. If we want to use antibodies for the treatment of diseases, it just can't get in. There is a barrier that blocks the antibodies from getting in. Now, in Southampton, we're working on some theories and do some studies to make it a lot easier to get those antibodies inside of the brain. And because we know from our work in cancer that antibodies are very successful in protecting us from cancer development, we now also have evidence that it protects us from getting rid of elements that cause Alzheimer's disease. Now, that's all very nice, but what really matters are these things, these and these. These are neurons. Now, of course, they don't look like this at all, but it's a nice way to illustrate how complex the brain is. And getting an antibody in is one thing, but then rescuing these neurons, these cells from degenerating is something that we haven't done yet, and that's really what we need to do to understand Alzheimer's disease and treating Alzheimer's disease. So finally, we also have Doctor Who. So as you can see, there is a theme. It's a lot of therapeutics. It's a lot on using the immune system and using technology in understanding how our bodies work. And so in the third team, we'll be highlighting some of the work in Southampton on regeneration and the use of stem cells. And if you were interested in making something like this is a brain, but if you would be interested in making an organ that's your favorite organ, a kidney or perhaps a muscle cell, then come along, because we've got some technology that will allow you to actually print your own 3D organ. So I hope I have convinced you that you should really come to this body theme. There'll be clinicians, there'll be PhD students, there'll be other staff from the university that are very, very eager to talk about their work and answer all the questions that you have.
Thank you very much.